When we're talking about music marketing 101, I think oftentimes this one goes overlooked. And I think if you heard episode 299 with Adam Ezra, who he generated over $200,000 worth of revenue through his artist website, you see the big opportunity that there is with an artist website. But, we're talking foundational beginning stuff, but there's some things you need to do with an artist website that you can't and can do that you can't do anywhere else.
Well, I was gonna ask, why the hell in the age of TikTok and Instagram do we need websites?
Because TikTok owns all your fans and followers on that platform. And I think that's something that for a while when socials rose to prominence, especially Facebook, well, MySpace, but especially with Facebook in that era, artists started thinking, I don't need a website anymore. Who needs a website? And then it became real apparent after a few years when they started limiting our reach to our fans without paying for it. And then realizing that maybe that platform's no longer relevant and all those fans I built up there, I can't connect with and move them over somewhere else. An artist website is really your hub for your music business on the web. It allows you so much flexibility and opportunity to own that relationship with your fans and monetize them that it's really an essential marketing tool.
Yeah, I think if I summarize, I'd say you own the experience, you own the activity and the engagement with your fans that's happening there, and then because you control the experience, you also can put all the focus on you and your music. There's not all the distractions of constant competing videos or just other stuff in the feed.
And I think a lot of people approached websites and still think about websites how we think about social, like, hey, this is an archive of everything we did, and this is where you can find all the photos, and this is where all the videos live. That's fine, but I think a website, how you should be thinking about it is like, what actions do I want my fans to take? My website should be the hub for those core actions, whether it's sign up on an email list, buy something, whether it's downloads or physical goods or tickets. There's all sorts of options. We recommend Bandzoogle. We're partners with Bandzoogle. If you go to bandzoogle.com/CD baby, you'll get an artist website and free music distribution. But a lot of tools that help you convert fans to do very specific actions. And I think that's how you should orient yourself around. Why would I have a website? Well, the people might be searching for you. That's where they're going to land. You can control the experience. And then there's some other marketing things that we have listed here that are important.
Yeah, well, I think the first thing we should say is that websites can be very simple. If you're just starting out, you don't have a bunch of content, like I think it's perfectly fine to have a 1 or 2 or 3 page website that has a photo, maybe you have a good video, a link to your music somewhere, short bio, and like that's enough. I think it doesn't need to be the massive archive. And in fact, even if you have a wealth of previous material, you should still have a homepage that presents just the most essential stuff so it feels very focused and digestible. Another thing I would say is that you should have a tracking pixel, and Facebook has a pixel. Google has remarketing code that you can use. But basically, what that is just a snippet of code. You it's hidden. Your audience can't see it necessarily. It's a behind the scenes thing that tracks people's activity on your site so that down the road or tomorrow when you're doing advertising on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, you can do better advertising, more cost effective. You know what the results of your advertising has been because that engagement is tracked on your website. So be sure to install that. Bandzoogle has an easy way to put the Facebook pixel on there. If you use Squarespace, same thing. One other thing I would recommend is to create a squeeze page, which is a single page where you've removed the top navigation and the footer and all the other things that are usually on web pages to make them feel very navigable. What you want is just quick message and one action. There's just one button, buy the CD, sign up for my email list, listen on Spotify, whatever your priority goal is. Create a page that you get people there, they're trapped there. There's only one thing they can do. They can move forward or really they can close out the window or hit the back button. But it really, really gets rid of any other option for them, which is important these days when we're so scattered.
I think, especially if you're starting out music marketing 101, thinking about what is the main thing I need people to do right now? and orienting your website around that. Like you're saying, get rid of the distractions because a lot of people are thinking, well, I don't have much to put on a website yet. It's like, well, you don't, like you already said, you don't need this gigantic internet archive of your whole career because it hasn't happened yet. So that's not what you need to have on the web anyway. What you need is a place where if people want to contact you, they've got an official place, the official website, but also what is that thing you want them to do? Is it most important that you get email addresses? Then orient your website around that. Get rid of the distractions. They have all those web hosting platforms have what Chris you call the squeeze page. Is there any other names that might show up? They might call it landing pages. I think
Mhm.
Bandzoogle calls it landing pages, and that in the description it says that the header links and everything are gone, so it really focuses on that one action you want people to take. Those are all great things you can use starting out to market your music, but just understand what is it that you want people to do and orient your site around that. On the pixel front, they just go to your web host dashboard and there should be an easy place. It's usually just looks like a little window. You drop the copy in and you click save, and it's behind the scenes inside your website. And even if you don't use them yet, go do that so it starts giving you the ability to retarget your people landing on your website page.
Yeah, you can be building advertising audiences even if you're not paying to advertise to them. So better to do that now than later. One other thing, similar to what I said about the follow campaign and show.co, your squeeze page, if you have one, let's say it's buy this limited edition t-shirt. If there's no navigation, how are people going to get there? Well, they will get there through email, SMS, social, all the other ways you talk about anything, but you can also use website announcement bars at the top or a pop-up if those are provided
Mhm.
by your website hosting company, and you can use those so anytime anyone lands on any of your pages you can direct them to that most important page.
Yeah. Yeah, most web hosting platforms have the tool where you can have a pop-up come up on the screen after so many seconds, usually can set the time frame. And that way, if someone lands somewhere, you can take advantage of like, hey, get on our email list and you can offer incentives and stuff. So that's to me is figuring out what do you need the fans to do the most or anyone visiting your site to do the most. Orient your site around that for starters. And we'll talk more about advertising in a second. But even if you don't know what a marketing pixel is, you can get one on your Facebook account. Just search Facebook marketing pixel. It'll show you where to get yours. And you can just drop them in your website. And even if you don't advertise yet, just have it in there. So it's building audiences because then you'll be able to target those people later on those ad platforms.
One last thing I wanted to say is I think it is helpful, obviously, if you have your contact info and a show calendar and a store and your social links on your website. But I think of those as nice to haves. I think if you really want to make just a sleek, quick website without that stuff, that is fine. Like just have something that looks very official and exciting.
I would recommend having contact info because I find that when people are interested in getting us to play, they tend to go there and email through the band website. It doesn't happen through social as much. And I think people maybe don't feel like people see stuff. I see that kind of thing on Messenger, Facebook Messenger more. But it's nice to have contact info because when someone's looking for, hey, there's this band, maybe I'll get them to play this show, they're gonna go to your website, or they might try looking for your website.